Hey folks, Alan here with Maker Series Episode 3. On this episode, we're going to be meeting with a vegan baker for some cruelty-free wedding cake baking. She's going to walk us through a little bit of the process, her thoughts and feelings on what she does from the beginning of making a cake all the way to delivery to the wedding venue. So let's check it out.
Everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way. Not looking for no heaven or gold, 'cause I got you.
So my name is Brianna, and I am the baker at Cafe Evolution in Florence, Massachusetts. I have been here for about 5 years. I've been baking ever since I could hold a whisk. Not well, but my grandmother and my mother taught me everything I know. Around 22, 23, I was seeing somebody who became vegan and he had to eat, and I have to feed everybody. So I just started baking vegan, and then I went vegan shortly thereafter. And people started paying attention because they'd be like, oh, this is so good. And I'm like, oh, and it's vegan. Haha. And they'd be like, but it doesn't taste like birdseed. It doesn't taste like grass. It doesn't taste like sticks and twine and whatever else vegans eat. And I was like, oh, it's because we eat that on the weekends. It's not in baked goods. That's a bad joke. So I took on cakes, and I had never really made cakes. First of all, I never really made vegan cakes. I had made a few, but I hadn't made them on the level that I had to here. I never had made a tiered cake. Had to kind of figure that out. Granted, YouTube exists and helped a lot, and my massive collection of cookbooks helped. But trial and error, and I look back now on the cakes I made 4 years ago, and I cringe. But I also look at cakes I made last year and cringe. So being an artist, I don't really consider myself an artist. So wedding cakes are like therapy for me, especially when I have full creative freedom. It's just really relaxing just to like throw on some music and just zone out and frost a cake and decorate it.
If I'm coming down, you rock my boat when you hold me so tight. The world just disappears in front of my eyes. I'm telling you why, this ain't no madness. The smoke and the mirrors are memories now. The sun's gone down like a river rushing way up above. This ain't no sugar-coated love.
Especially working with local floral shops or local farms for fresh fruit. Weddings are just my favorite, even though the delivery process can be a huge stress because I do it myself. And I take on faraway weddings like an idiot sometimes because I don't have like a refrigerated van. I just have my little Prius, and I throw fabric in the windows and try my best. With this wedding, she wanted a 3-tiered chocolate peanut butter geode cake, and I was super stoked for the geode part because I've never done a geode cake, and you see them all over Instagram, and you want to try it out. You want to be like those Instagram accounts and make geodes or unicorns or narwhal cakes or whatever the hell else is coming up. Weddings, I never really used to, and now I fangirl about weddings. Not so much my own, but I do just, it's like crack. Making wedding cakes and having, especially when I have full creative freedom, it's really nice to be able to just, it's really nice to be able to zone out and make a big tiered cake and decorate with flowers or silver leaf or gold leaf or just whatever the bride wants. It was really fun just to relax and just put a bunch of rock candy in. I wish I had had tweezers to get like in there better rather than getting frosting all over my hands. But breaking up rock candy is the worst. Alan even brought in metal shaping tools, and we wailed on the rock candy with that, and it still didn't make a dent. So this process, if nothing else, has taught me that I am never eating rock candy, ever, because it'll destroy your jaw and destroy your teeth. And after 24 cavities and 2 root canals, I'm good. It turned out pretty great considering I've never done fondant. I've never made fondant. I've never covered a cake in fondant. I've never done a geode cake. And then deliver it 2.5 hours away in northern Vermont to an outdoor wedding when it's, what was it, like 86 degrees with like 90% humidity. But it was also a smaller cake because they had like 100 or so guests, but they had sheet cakes for the guests. So they got a vanilla chocolate cake and a chocolate strawberry cake. And the little cake was mainly just for the bride because she just really wanted a geode cake, which I totally get. Like, I want a fancy cake, but the guests can just have a sheet cake.
Yeah, this ain't no sugar-coated love.
I've worked in animal rescues. I've volunteered with wildlife rescues. I used to be a vet student, pre-vet student, and I've always wanted to work more with like the undercover animal rights work, but I just don't have the mental capacity for it. So my place is more in food. So I feel like my role in being a vegan in being an activist or just doing my part, whatever bullshit you want to subscribe to, is food is incredibly political, and making vegan baked goods is, even for people that aren't vegan, is just one way of helping the planet, I guess. Helping get a little bit less dairy and eggs on our plates. Because the majority of the customers here, there's not a lot of vegans here. Like, Western Mass is pretty hippy-dippy, but there's not a lot of vegans. It's a lot of like farm to table and a lot of like, oh, this cow was raised humanely. So the majority of the customers here are parents with small children that are deathly allergic to dairy or eggs, or people that are lactose intolerant, or people that just really like the cupcakes, or people that just enjoy eating a big slice of cake and not feeling like crap afterwards because it's not gonna weigh you down like a normal cake slice would. So yeah, the majority of the customers here aren't even vegan, and I don't really frankly care if you're vegan. Just eat a vegan baked good once in a while, please. Please. I'm really grateful for my position here. As stressful as it has been, as terrible for my body as it has been, because my back and my wrists make weird sounds now. It's not, because as much as I would like to say we use big Hobart machines here, it's all by hand. Everything is scratch made, homemade, like all of our own recipes and my own recipes, and everything's handmade. The frosting, I have a little tiny mixer, but it doesn't really, it's just little. I think Alan got some footage of that, my little baby mixer that I kill in like 6 months because I use it so much. Yeah, it's been awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing where Instagram and this take me, but maybe I'll come back to this in a few years. Maybe nursing school won't be for me, but we'll see. Baking's always been there for me. Sugar and the whisk have always been there for me. So. And Pokemon. So in this video, you'll get to watch me put together the cake, act like a jackass, drive 2.5 hours up to deliver this cake to this girl's family farm, and be a stress case.